Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this series we're going to be looking at a river cruise that we went on just before Christmas, so like a pre-Christmas treat for us. It was going through the Rhine and it was covering all of the Christmas markets. We flew into Dusseldorf and then we went to Cologne, Rhine, Frankfurt and Koblenz. It was quite full on. It was only 5 days. But it was quite full on, so unlike the cruise ships that we go on, the big cruise ships, there's no sea days obviously because you're on a river, so it is really full on. It's like boom 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 boom, so we was absolutely exhausted when we came home. It's good fun. Would we do it again? Don't know, but I'll go back, I'll sort of go over that later at the end of the series. I'll give a sort of a pros and cons of how we liked the river cruise. Was it worth the money, that sort of thing. Anyway, before that, this episode is going to cover our arrival in Dusseldorf, and the fiasco that we had at the airport, which was a bit of a nightmare. When we finally got on the boat at Dusseldorf, we had a walk down to Düsseldorf Christmas Market. That was a disaster. Well, not a disaster, but it was such a long walk. And then we came back, and it was like, oh god, we were shattered. Went on the big wheel, but it was good fun though. But anyway, after a good night's sleep, we was fine the next day, and we did Cologne, which was a lot nearer to the boat, so that was much better. So yeah, without further ado, I give you Dusseldorf and Cologne. I didn't do a walk around the hotel this time, but we're staying there again this year, so I'll do a proper one then. The boat was beautifully decorated for Christmas. It was really classy. It did look lovely.
We've got in our room.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I reckon it's a good 2-mile walk, you know.
Oh yeah, I think it is. I've got to go back again as well. As you can hear, we was absolutely knackered before we'd even got to the middle of Dusseldorf, and then we had to come back. We were shattered. Oh, and in reference to the owl in our room, and there wasn't an owl in our room. Every time we flushed our toilet, it made a whoop whoop noise. I should have taped it, but I forgot. It was really funny. Every time we flushed the toilet, we was in stitches. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. Thank you. Because we were so knackered and our feet were hurting, we went on the big wheel. I absolutely loved it, but Dave wasn't a great fan as he doesn't like heights. It's over, Dave. It's over. What do you think of it? It's over.
terrifying.
Really? It was a lovely clear day and we had some fantastic views over Dusseldorf and the river. It really was a nice ride. The only problem was we could see how far it was that we had to walk back eventually. We finally got back on the boat and had a nice shower, got changed, went down to dinner. Food was really nice actually. Probably problem was you didn't get an awful lot of it. Portions were really tiny, but the food itself was really nice. We met a lovely couple. We actually met them at Gatwick Airport, so we spent near enough all the week with them. So that was really nice. We had some company as well. We had a good evening. So today we are off to Cologne. After yesterday we was in Dusseldorf. Yesterday was a bit of a nightmare anyway, because we got a lovely flight in. It was only 58 minutes, and then we spent 3 hours at the airport. It was an absolute blooming disaster. I think we was waiting for all the coaches to come in, but I'll go into that a bit more detail later. But anyway, we then decided to go into the Christmas market of Dusseldorf, not realising how far it was. I think it was about a 2.5 mile walk there. Walked around the markets, and then it was like, oh bugger, we've got to come back now. So yeah, I was fit for nothing by the time I got back. It was horrendous. This Christmas market's in Cologne. Hopefully it's not supposed to be too far. You're supposed to come off the boat, cross a bridge, and you're pretty much there, about 10-15 minute walk. So I'm hoping that that's the case. So yeah, I'm going to do a quick tour around the room later, especially when it's been made up, because it looks a bit of a state at the moment. But so far, we're absolutely loving this boat. It's brilliant. The staff are amazing. Food's amazing. It's, yeah, really, really happy with it. So yeah, catch you later, people. Bye. Luckily, Cologne Christmas Market was a lot nearer to the boat than Dusseldorf was. It was just a short walk along the towpath, and then you went over the big bridge over the river, and then you was pretty much in the centre of the city. So the Hohenzollern Bridge in Cologne, the one we had to go over from our boat into the main city, is covered in locks, and we wondered what that was. It's basically couples that have attached padlocks to symbolise their love, and then they throw the keys into the Rhine. There's supposed to be an estimated 500,000 locks on there. Amazing. The Gothic Cologne Cathedral really is an awesome sight. It's absolutely stunning. Cologne hosts several different Christmas markets. There's all different types of ones, and you just walk through from one into the other. I think we managed to do about 3, maybe 4. Certainly didn't have time to do them all. I think if we came here again, we would actually stay in Cologne. Then you've got the sort of like you can spend your whole time and go out of an evening as well, which would be nice. As you can see, the markets get very, very crowded, so if you don't like crowds, then maybe this isn't the place for you. What do you think of the glue vine, Dave?
Oh, yeah, Pogs.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
We decided not to have a go at the curling because knowing our track record we'd come home with broken legs or something. After a tiring but really enjoyable day walking around the Christmas markets, we slowly made our way back over the bridge to the boat, where we had a nice shower, got changed, went down and had a lovely meal and a few drinks. Lovely end to a nice day. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. As I said earlier, I'm going to go into a bit more detail of our flight that was a complete disaster. We got to Gatwick in plenty of time and we started queuing up. We were told where to go for the TUI flights. All the TUI flights were just, for some unknown reason, they was all showing Lapland, but whatever. Anyway, we was queuing up and then someone was coming around with a clipboard going, oh, are you a TUI cruise? And was like, yes, we're on the riverboat cruise. Okay, so we'll go over to this one. So they pulled us out of that queue, went over to another queue, and then that was the queue for Barbados. I was like, no, we're not going to Barbados, we're going to Germany. So then they had to put us back to another queue. It was an absolute nightmare. So anyway, we got through finally, got on the plane, went straight. Must admit, the flight was amazing. It was only an hour and it was like bang on time. We thought, hello, this is brilliant, we're going to be on the ship by about 10 o'clock. Got to the airport and then we realised that we've got to go through the new EU scanny thing, so that was an absolute nightmare as well. So you go through Düsseldorf Airport and you've got lots of like almost self-service ones that you can do. So what you've got to do is you've got to put your passport in and then you've got to have your face, a photo taken of your face, and you've got to do your fingerprints. Some people it was working for, some people it wasn't. Some people it was taking their facial recognition, but it wasn't actually taking their fingerprints. I'd done mine and I'm the world's worst because I always get stopped at Gatwick and everything. It took mine first time, which was a bloody miracle. Dave's, it took his face, wouldn't take his fingerprints. So then we had to go and line up at another queue, which the queues were going on forever. And complete nightmare. There was no one there to tell you what to do. You couldn't find a worker at the airport anywhere. There was no one. So finally got it done and we come out, went to get our baggage. Couldn't find the baggage carousel. We're asking where it was. It said on the board one number and it wasn't. It was on somewhere completely different. Finally found it in the end and there was just baggage going around. We got one bag off and then we literally sat there for an hour waiting for everything else to come off. What they was doing, they was waiting for everyone to come through from being scanned until they released more baggage. Instead of taking the stuff that was off the carousel and putting it on, I don't know, in a row somewhere so people could get it, and then putting some more stuff on, no, that would have been far too easy. So yeah, by the time we sat there for an hour waiting for that to come through, finally got out sort of through to the hall, ticked off our name with the TUI rep, and there we sat for like 3 hours. What they was obviously doing was they was waiting for all the planes to come in so that they could start then shipping people on. They didn't, basically what they didn't want people on the boat before they'd got it all cleaned and everything, which is fair enough, but don't just tell people, don't give it all the, oh, it's a technical fault, it's a this, it's a that. No, it wasn't. It was just you couldn't be bothered to take us to the boat. Yeah, everyone was really kicking off. It was an absolute nightmare. I think they've actually changed it now because going by the forums, a lot of people have said it wasn't a problem, so they've obviously changed their tune now. But yeah, by the time we got to the boat, we just about had enough, to be quite honest. It really wasn't a great start to the holiday. But when we got there, they laid on lunch and we had a lunch and a glass of wine and everything feels a bit better then. Got our baggage, we unpacked, and then we went for a walk into Dusseldorf, as you'll see, which, God, that was a blooming walk and a half. As they must have parked the furthest way they could. It was like about, it must have been a good 2 miles there and 2 miles back. So yeah, that was a really, really exhausting first day. Luckily it got better, and the next day when we went to Cologne, it was a lot nearer to the Christmas markets, as you'll see on the next episode. So what is actually coming up on the next episode is Rudesheim. We absolutely loved Rudesheim. I've always liked it. I've been there before, and it hasn't changed. It's really beautiful. And Frankfurt, didn't expect an awful lot in Frankfurt, but again, we really loved it. Probably about 2 of our favourite ones, I think. So yeah, so stay tuned. Make sure you click subscribe, and then you'll know when the next, and hit that little bell, because then you'll be notified when the next one comes up. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.